Good morning, student. Today, once again, I am in front of you with a new topic, and this is a very interesting topic of detective. Yes, the name of a topic is The Hound of the Baskervilles. It is written by Arthur Conan Doyle. Now, Sherlock Holmes is a popular fictional detective created by the British author Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. He is known for his keen power of observation, logical reasoning, and ability to solve the difficult case. So it is a play. So here we have a different types of a character. Sherlock Holmes, the detective. Dr. Watson, his friend and assistant. Dr. Mortimer, medical doctor. Lestrade, the detective colleagues. Shri Hanley, Baskerville. The recent sudden death of Sir Charles Baskerville has cast a gloom over the county. Dr. James Mortimer, a friend and medical attendant of the deceased. Deceased means the longer alive, no longer alive. Okay, the person who has died has given evidence to say that there is no reason whatever to suspect foul play. Now, who has recently died here? Sir Charles. Okay, the recent sudden death of Sir Charles Baskervilles. Now, who was his friend? Dr. James Mortimer. He was his friend, not only a friend but also a medical attendant. The facts of the case are simple. Sir Charles Baskerville was in the habit every night before going to bed of walking down the famous air alley of Baskerville Hall. So what type of a habit he used to have? That before going to bed, he used to walk around his entire villa. Okay, that is bungalow. On the 4th of May, Sir Charles has declared his intention of starting the next day for London and had ordered Barrymore, his butler, to prepare his luggage. So on the 4th May, what the Charles has declared? Sir Charles has declared that he is going to London and he has ordered his butler. Butler means what, student? Actually, in a foreign country, the person is used as is kept as a housekeeping. Okay, they cook the food, they arrange the things and everything for the owner. The night he went out as usual for nocturnal work, in the course of which he was in a habit of smoking a cigar. He never returned. Scene 1. Sherlock Holmes, drawing room at Baker Street. Sherlock Holmes. Now, who is Sherlock Holmes? Already I have told you. He is a detective. Now, in children's, many of serials, you have seen the detective, na? Those who find out the cases. Now, if you have observed the CID, that is also one of the detective. Yes, children? So, Dr. Mortimer, tell me, what trouble you now? Dr. Mortimer, the death, it seemed, was due to natural cause, a weak heart. However, there was one false statement by the butler. Now, Sir Monks is asking to the Dr. Mortimer, tell me, what is troubling you? Now, it shows that the person who has died is a natural death. So what he says, Dr. Mortimer? Yes, it seemed a natural death due to a heart weak. That might be a heart attack. But what is the main thing? The main thing is that the one false statement that is given by the butler. Sherlock Holmes, and pray, what is that? Dr. Mortimer, there was certainly no physical injury on any kind. But one false statement was made by Barrymore at the inquest. Inquest means you can say an official process that is done by the police or an inquiry, okay, regarding the case. He said that there were no traces upon the ground around the body. He did not observe any, but I did some little distance off, but fresh and clear. So, what the Mortimer is saying, that there was certainly no physical injury of any kind, but one false statement that was made by his butler. What? That there were no trace upon the ground. Nothing was been scattered around, no blood trace, nothing has been found near the body. But the Mortimer, when he was investigating the site, he found something fresh and clear. Sherlock Holmes. What is that? Footprint. Dr. Mortimer, footprints. Sherlock Holmes. A man or a woman's? Dr. Mortimer. Almost in a whisper. Mr. Holmes. They were the footprint of genetic hound. Pause. Let me acquaint it with the whole story. So, what does the Sherlock Holmes ask? Whose footprint was that? Either it was a man or woman. So, what Dr. Mortimer has replied? It was neither a footprint of a man or a woman, but it was a footprint of a genetic bond. That means something very huge. I found that before the terrible event occurred, several people had seen a creature upon the moor, which corresponds with this Baskervilles demon, and which could not possibly be any animal known to size. They all agreed that it was a huge creature, luminous, ghastly, and spectral. What is a spectral, student? A ghostly. Okay. I assure you that there is a region of terror in the district, and that is a hardy man who will cross the moor at night. So what he tells? He started telling the story. What type of a story? That is a terrible event. Before this terrible event, so many of the people, those who are living across these villas or those who are living in the city, have seen a huge creature. It was like a ghost. Okay. Sir Charles had taken this legend to heart. So much so that although he would walk in his own ground, nothing would induce him. Nothing is induced means nothing would provoke him to go out upon the moor at night. So what the Mortimer is telling, Sister Charles had taken it so much to his heart that he was so afraid that while walking through this villa, he will not go too near to the moor. It might be a place. Okay. Incredible as it may appear to you, Mr. Holmes, he was honestly convinced that a dreadful fate overhung his family. The idea of some ghastly presence constantly haunted him, and on more than one occasion he has asked me whether I had on my medical journey at night ever seen any strange creatures or heard the baying of a boon. So what does the Mortimer say? That the Charles has taken so much into his heart that he will not take any risks to move toward the moor, and he had also made an inquiry. He had also asked me several of the time through the medical tour. Medical tour means as a doctor, he has to visit the patient anytime, right? So doctor has a no specific time. So throughout, if according to the Charles, if the more time is visiting or returning back to home at a late night, whether he has seen such a great, huge type of a creatures. Sherlock Holmes, in an amused tone, and you, a trained man of science, believe it to be a supernatural? And what do you want me to do? Now Sherlock Holmes says, you are a man of a science. That means you are a doctor. You have learned the science, okay? And you believe in such an unnatural thing. Now what you want from me? Dr. Mortimer, Henry, his nephew, is the last of the Baskervilles in 1 hour and 5 minutes. I have to meet him at Waterloo Station. I had a ride that he arrived at Southampton this morning. Now, Mr. Holmes, would you advise me to do with him? Sherlock Holmes. Why should he not go to the home of his forefather? So what the Dr. Mortimer say? That Henry, his nephew, is the last person who is going in his family, okay, and who is going to visit a Baskervilles within a 1 hour and 5 minutes. So I have to meet him in a station and pick him up. Now Sherlock is asking why you have to pick him up, why he is not going to his forefather house, why he is going to stay with you. Dr. Mortimer, it seems natural, does it not? And yet consider that every Baskerville who goes there meet with an evil fate. I feel sure that if Sir Charles could have spoken with me before his death, he would have warned me against bringing this, the last of the old race, and heir to a great wealth, to that haunted place. And that is why I bring the case before you and ask your advice. Sherlock Holmes, Sir Henry Baskerville, take a residence at the Baskerville Hall, ignorant of the terrible cures of the family. However, Dr. Mortimer persuaded Sherlock Holmes to intervene and unearth means to find out the true cause of this tragic situation. The curse on the family which stalked the lastest residents of the hall, who he feels is sure to meet with the some deadly fate as his uncle, Sir Charles. So, what he say? This is the whatever the cause may be. Who is saying that? The nephew. Whatever the cause may be, but it is a very tragic situation that he was the last member as an elder of the family. Okay. Sherlock Holmes, along with his friend Dr. Watson and his colleague Leicester, agreed to help and decide to visit Devonshire, the moor with the Baskerville Hall in the background. Sherlock Holmes, as you value your life or your reason, keep away from the moor. This is the warning letter that Sri Henry received a few days ago. Are you armed, Lester? So what the Sherlock Holmes said, that as you value, if you have a value for your life, so keep yourself away from the moor. So this was a warning letter that Sir Henry had received few days back. Lester smiling, as long as I have my trouser, I have a hip pocket. As long as I have my hip pocket, I have something in it. Sherlock Holmes, good. My friend and I are also ready for emergency. Lester, you are might close about this affair. Mr. Holmes, what's the game now? Sherlock Holmes, a waiting game. Lester, shivering. My word, it does not seem a very cheerful place. I see the light of a house ahead to us. Sherlock Holmes, this is the house and the end of a journey. I must request you to walk on tiptoe and not to talk about a whisper. They walk cautiously along the track. There is a thick fog, but the night sky is clear with the stars shining brightly. Sir Holmes, this will do. These rocks upon the right make an admirable screen. We are to wait here. You have been inside the house, have you not, Watson? Can you tell the position of the room? What are those lattice windows and these? And so what the Sherlock Holmes asks to the nephew, that is a Watson, that you were inside the room. Can you tell me where are the window, where are the doors, where are the other things? Can you tell me the direction of each and everything? Watson, I think they are the kitchen's window. So what they said, the window that you are asking, the lattice window, they might be the kitchen window. Sir Holmes, and the one beyond which shines so brightly, and what is that is shining so brightly? Watson, that is certainly the dining room. Sherlock Holmes, creep forward quietly. Wait on and see what they are doing. But for heaven's sake, don't let them know that they are watched. So what does Sherlock Holmes say? Creep quietly, move quietly and see what they are doing. But you will not make any movement that they will come to know that we are keeping watch on them. Every minute that white woolly fog which covered one and half of the moor, actually the moor means a trace of open, peaty waste and a very overgrown with the shrubs, okay, is drifting closer and closer to the house. So every now in a foreign countries, what happens children? Now as during a night, as the nights move on, the time move on, the area get covered with a fog. Why? Because the climate is quite cold. Okay, so here also they were doing a detective. They are keep watching on a certain pupils. So what is happening? As the time was going, the area was covering, the dense part was covering with a fog. Already the first thin wisp of it are clearing across the golden square of the lighted window. Sherlock Holmes in frustrated anxiety. If he isn't out in a quarter of an hour, the path will be covered. In half of an hour, we won't be able to see our hand in front of us. Excitedly, thank God, I think I hear him coming. A sound of quick step breaks the silence of the moor. Crouching among the stone, the three men stare intently at the silver-tipped bank in the front. They step grow louder, and through the fog, as through a curtain, they step the man whom they are awaiting, Sir Henry. He looks around him in surprise as he emerges into the clear, straight-light night. Then he comes swiftly along the path, past close to where the three men lies, and goes on up the long slope behind them. As he walks, he glances continually over either shoulder like a man who is ill at ease. Sherlock Holmes, shish, look out, it is coming. Lester gave a yell of terror and threw himself face downward upon the ground. Now in the picture you can see they are hiding behind the rocks to see who was coming, who was the monster. The three men are paralyzed by the fearful shape which sprang out from the shadow of the fog. Hound, it is an innumerable coal-black hound, but not such a hound as mortal eyes has ever seen. Fire bursts from his open mouth. His eyes glow with a smoldering glare. His muscles and hackles and develop. Muscles, hackles and develop means all parts of the animal body, including the snout, hair and loose skin on the neck. Now here you can see the picture. Yes, like all the entire body is like a animal. With a long bound, the huge black creature is leaping down the track, following hard upon the footstep of Sir Henry. Then Holmes and Watson both fire together. The next instant, Holmes empties 5 barrels of the revolver into the creature's flank. With a last howl of agony and a vicious snap in the air, it rolls upon its back, for feet pawing furiously, and then falls limp upon its side. The giant hound is dead. Watson, whispering, "My God, what was it? What in heaven name was it? Gaunt savage and a large and small lioness." Sherlock Holmes is dead, whatever it is. We have let the family ghost once and for ever. So what does Sherlock say? It is dead. Now we have killed the family ghost for once and for ever. Watson placed his hand upon the glowing muscles, and as he holds them, his own fingers smolder and gleam in the darkness. Watson, phosphorus. Sherlock Holmes, a cunning preparation of it. sniffing at the dead animal. There is no smell which might have inferred with this powder of scent. We you have deep apology, Sir Henry, for having exposed you to this fright. I was prepared for a hound, but not for such a creature as this, and Fogg gave us a little time to receive him. Sir Henry, you have saved my life. Scene 3. In the sitting of a room of Sherlock Holmes, the detective and Dr. Weston piece together the fact of the case. Weston, perhaps you would kindly give me a sketch of the course of events. Sherlock Holmes, my inquiries show beyond all question that the family portrait did not lie, and that is Stapleton, who nearly killed Sir Henry, was indeed a Baskerville. He was the son of Roger Baskerville, the younger brother of Sir Charles, who fell with the sinister. Sinister means an evil. Okay. Reputation of South America. So what does Sherlock Holmes say? That through my inquiry, through my all the questions, I do not find this family portrait is so idle. They are lying something from us. What is that? That a Stapleton who nearly killed Sir Henry was indeed in a Baskerville. His son Roger Vasco, the younger brother of Sir Charles, who filled evil, that means full of evils. His reputation is very bad in the entire South America. The son grew up into a very scheming young man, but extremely knowledgeable and intelligent. Watson. And what he used his capability toward his sinister design? How did he come back to England? Sir Holmes. His interesting is entomology brought him to the country, Watson, where he learned that he was actually the heir of a fortune. Sherlock Holmes. The fellow had eventually made inquiry and found that only 2 leaves intervened between him and the valuable estate. His plan was to cultivate a friendship with Sir Charles Baskerville and with the neighbors. Western. He could have waited for the old man to pass on, but probably he was too impatient. Sherlock Holmes. He knew that the old man's heart was weak and that a shock could kill him. So much he had learned from Dr. Mortimer. He had heard also that Sir Charles was superstitious and had taken the grim legend of Hound of the Baskerville very seriously. His ingenious mind instantly suggested a way by which the baronet could be done to death. Having convinced the idea, he proceeded to carry it out with a considerable fitness. Fitness means with a proper idea. Okay? An ordinary schemer could have been content to work with a savage hound. The use of artificial means phosphorus to make the creature diablocate. Diablocate means what? Extremely evil or the cruel. So what he has used? He has used the phosphorus that was been inserted on the body of that creature. The dog he bought was the strongest and the most savage. He had already on his insect hunt learned to penetrate the grimpen mire and so had found to a safe hiding place for the creature. Here he cannelled it and waited his chance. So much for the death of Sir Charles Baskerville. You perceive the devil's cunning of it. For really, it would be almost impossible to make a case against the real murderer. He is only accomplice. Accomplice means just a partner in a crime. Yes, one who could never give him away the hound. Watson. He could have guessed that there was another heir to the property, Sir Henry. Sherlock Holmes. It is possible that Stephen did not know that existence of a heir in Canada. Stephen's first idea was that his young stranger from Canada might possibly be done to death in London before coming down to Devonshire. Watson. Why was Sir Henry ignorant of the legend? On account of having lived in the faraway Canada, I suppose. Sherlock's home. Eventually, as we know, Stapleton's wife, who was being used to carry out the friendship plan, adopted the expedient of cutting out the words which would form the message and address the leader in a disguised hand. It reached the baronet and gave him the first warning of his danger. As we value your life or your reason, keep away from the moor. Boston, and the baronet came to us for help, which was very fortunate indeed. Sherlock Holmes. And now, my dear Weston, we had some week for severe work, and for one evening, I think we may turn our thought into more pleasant channel. Might I travel you then to be ready in half an hour, and we can stop the machines for a little dinner. So the entire case was being solved that his own nephew has killed the chance because he wants the property. Okay, he wants the property that was the Baskervilles. So student, you might have understood the lesson. Now it's time for the grammar. So let us complete the grammar. Complete this sentence with the right form of verb given in the bracket. Most teenagers will drive their own car in a 10 years' time. The postman rang the bell just as I sat down for lunch. Tom and Jerry is the name of popular children cartoon show. My father will return from his trip to Singapore next Saturday. I met my maths teacher in the supermarket last week. She was shopping for some grocery. She will have brought herself a computer by the end of the month. All students of grade 10 and 12 are writing their revision exam now. Mr. Lawrence is returning this month. He has worked in this office for 35 years. They will have left school by now. Shrisha studied very hard, so she stand first in all her tests. Now using the word, you have to write the tick note, write the meanings. Okay. So there was a note of defense, almost of contempt in her voice as she said the words. The right is a tone which expresses a mood or attitude. She shouldered her way through the throng of people in an attempt to get the exit. The right answer is push someone out of her way. There was little spring located near the lion den. Under gone water that sprout out. This speech sound a little tough. I will need a score to learn it in a time for concert. The right answer is a written composition of music. If you look at the legend, you will know what that symbol means. Guide to symbol used on a map. Our room at a resort overlooked the bay, a stunning view indeed. The right answer is an inlet of the sea where the land has curved inward. So student, you might have understood the lesson very clearly and also the grammar part. So we will meet on the next lecture. Have a good day. Bye. See you.